Hello guys, Hector here, and today I'm going to rank the zones in Sonic 1 and Sonic 2. I'm not going to include Sky Chase Zone because that's part of Wing Fortress, and I'm not going to include Final Zone because that's part of Scrap Brain. So I merge Scrap Brain and Final as I merge Sky Chase and Wing Fortress. So this means that we have 10 zones from Sonic 2 and 6 zones from Sonic 1, which makes 16. So let's start. No debug mode as well. 16. Death Egg Zone. Death Egg Zone is the worst zone in Sonic 1, both Sonic 1 and Sonic 2, because the boss is because Silver Sonic is Silver Sonic's a really unbearable boss, especially that you don't have any rings, and if you jump on it, you lose a life. The Death Egg robot has big arms and it can crush you, but there's this target which means you can avoid it. So Eggman's sure about this robot. But you're too fast anyway. So you can avoid the arms of this robot. But I mean, you can hit it 8 times. For at first, the arms you need to. It also shoots mines that are robots, small fat robots, which are round. That look like Eggman. So it also needs 12 hits. 15. Wing Fortress Zone. Wing Fortress Zone is hard. Too hard. Especially those things. There's even sometimes you don't. Sometimes when you go to something that pushes you, it means you can't go back anymore. Sky Chase Zone. Going to this zone isn't that bad anyway. It's really good. It's a really good zone because I like how Tails saves Sonic even when he jumps out of the plane. Watch out for a spin dash though. Number 14, Starlight Zone. Starlight Zone, well, it has a lot of gaps. It has a lot of mines that could lift you to higher places. Even the eggs that explode, they remind me of Execute though. But this zone was only to leave us from. But this zone's only to make us relieved from the Labyrinth Zone, which is a really hard zone. So yeah, Starlight Zone is number 14. Number 13, Scrap Brain Zone. Scrap Brain Zone is too hard for me. Even the Labyrinth Zone Act 4, which is Scrap Brain Zone Act 3, and the Act 4, which is the final boss, is really frustrating. It could crush you, and you don't have any rings for this boss, so this means you also need to be aware about those electric balls that descend, try to go to you. There's even a lot of gaps here, but it's like the harder version of Starlight and Labyrinth, but at least more fun than Starlight. Not as fun as Labyrinth though. So yeah, this is why scrap brain zone is number 13. Now let's get to Mystic Cave Zone, which is a spike, which has a lot of spikes. When you go to a that pit of that spike collection, it could cover you, and even supersonic, you can't escape that when you go to that one spike pit. It's frustrating, and it doesn't just have that spike, it has more spikes, and this thing that the monkey pulls on to swing is to open pathways, and there's even one which allows you to go to higher places or lower places. That's much like flying bat. This is a bit like flying battery from Sonic and Knuckles. I'm not including Sonic and Knuckles zones though. That's all you have to say about Mystic Cave. 5 zones mentioned. 11 to go. And taking the 11th place is Metropolis. Metropolis is so much like the Scrap Brain, but it's really frustrating because of how much lava you have, how much lava this level has, and it has a lot of spikes. It has a really hard boss as well. It has a boss that's a bit hard. But I'm putting it higher than Scrap Brain because even though the enemies, which are the Slicer, the Astron, and the Shell Cracker, are hard. Slicer, which shoots homing attacks, Shell Cracker, which can punch you, and Astron, which can explode and have into projectiles that shoot in 5 directions. Those remind me of Pokemon. Slicer reminds me of Scyther, Shell Cracker reminds me of Krabby, and Astron reminds me of Staryu. Ten zones left. And the one that's going to be 10th place has to be Chemical Plant. Chemical Plant zone has the worst music from all the Sonic 2 soundtrack, and also from Sonic 1 and Sonic 2. This one has the worst because of the Fa Sharp blending with the La note. I do like the La note, but I don't like it when it goes with the Fa Sharp note. But I mean, it's the music's still good anyway, but it's just my least favorite. And Chemical Plant, well, you have 2 paths. That will lead you to some of those things that will give you rings. It even has some pipes which could lead you to some places. This is the more Chemical Plant zone, more like Rain Plant zone. I mean, it has chemical, which is the grape juice, which is like grape juice, or should I call it grape juice of death, because Eggman has that in the boss fight. And it also has the grape juice of death, which is coming from there, which could drown you, literally. So Chemical Plant Zone is number 10 because of that. I mean, it doesn't have as much water sampling. Number 9, aquatic zone. No, not aquatic ruin zone. I'm going with oil ocean. Oil ocean has a lot of oil, so better escape out of it, or else you'll actually die. Sinking under oil will lose a life, and also has a lot of traps. The fire can hit you except when you're supersonic. It, the that thing that goes up when the fire starts can lead you to some places but can crush you as well. It also has some spikes as well. Number 8, hilltop zone. Hilltop zone is a zone which has a lot of lava. Pretty much self-explanatory. That's all I have to say about hilltop. It has a lot of lava, but it's higher than marble because it has, but it's, I mean, lower than marble because some of them sometimes it can crush you. And supersonic allows you to go through this zone easily. Like it's not even a challenge. Number 7, spring yard zone. Spring yard zone is okay by itself because it has a lot of rings and even has a mix of invincibility and speed shoes, but the boss is very bad. I don't like it. If you can jump under it when it spikes and tries to crush bricks and usually with caps. 6 zones left. And we're going with Emerald Hill Zone for number 6 because it introduces you to Tails the Fox. And and allows you to have Sonic Spin Dash. A very good choice for start of game. The music's also good. Number 5, Aquatic Ruin Zone. Aquatic Ruin Zone is like the Labyrinth Zone but a bit easier because the water sections are a bit short. I just don't like that rounder copies though. Number 4, Marble Zone. Marble Zone is one of my favorite. It's a really good zone of lava. Marble Zone has a lot of lava and barely anything can crush you, and it has a lot of rings and some invincibility things and a lot of shields. Number 3 will have to be Green Hill Zone. Green Hill Zone introduces you to Sonic, even though it's not that big and it's too easy. It's still a sign of nostalgia. Many people like this zone. Number 2, Casino Night Zone. Casino Night Zone has those slots that could give you rings, but don't get in there too much because if you get 3 Eggmans, you might lose a lot of rings. Just get the Sonic, the Tails, and the ring and the bar. What's more important is the jackpot because it will lead you to getting a lot of lives. And number 1, Labyrinth Zone. Labyrinth Zone is my favorite zone from all Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 zones. Labyrinth Zone may be hard, but I didn't have that much of a problem. The second, it's easy because of the air bubbles. It has a lot of air bubbles, and also it's not easy only because of that hard. It's not only that hard because of that, because it's still a bit hard. It also has a number of invincibility boxes, rings, and shields. There are a lot of traps though. Water, things that shoot, bullets, and also some spikes. The boss is also hard, but you don't even need to hit Robotnik or Eggman 3 times.